Welcome to the Board Game Snobs podcast. Critically harsh reviews with a touch of class.
And go.
Yeah, how about it? This is the Board Game Snobs podcast. My voice got really deep there like it was a radio
Deep
show.
and raspy.
I'm going for that raspy voice.
Wolfman.
We should be like
Wolfman Jack. Remember him?
giving away things.
That's from the 70s.
Isn't that like every radio show has like that one guy that's just on the periphery that like does the announcing?
Yes. And we're back.
That just has that wild boy, that guy.
Thanks for listening to KBGS. Yeah.
How do you get that job? Do they come in and interview you and say, give us your most crazy voice?
It sounds like it, obviously. That's Jerry. I'm Gabi. With us also today is Roberto of Shear Boredom. That's primarily a YouTube, correct?
Yes. Instagram first and then YouTube, whichever.
Instagram and YouTube. All right.
Sheer boredom.
So we'll throw it back to Roberto here in a second, but first I have something I need to.
I have questions for Roberto.
Okay, well, first, hold on.
Send us emails at boardgamesnobs.
I say hold on, and you start talking through the intro. What are you doing?
Okay.
Be a professional. Be a professional.
Look, I like that talking through intro stuff. It's kind of adds a little something.
It sounds like me cutting hair at work.
This is a Friday night. It's late at night. We're all tired. It's okay. We'll allow it. There you go. He does it every time.
Let's think about Michael Bay.
I don't even know. What about Michael Bay? What's he been up to?
I just watched a video and I posted it literally before I got on here on the Facebook group about Michael Bay.
Really?
And the island.
Ooh, I love the island.
I do too. I have watch that video I just posted on our Facebook group. And feel free to repost that in the Disagreeable Nerd podcast.
Roberto, feel free to join our Facebook group.
I'll do that right now.
Do it now. We have at least 2 or 3 regular posters, and 2 of them are me and Jerry. So I respect Michael Bay more than I did. Really?
After watching this video and understanding him and
his fine craftsmanship of slow-mo explosions and beautiful women.
I don't really like his shows, but I now see his style and where he's coming from with it. But the one show of his that bombed horribly, The Island, is my favorite of his.
Oh, come on. The Rock?
The Rock, to me, first off, I don't count The Rock because The Rock was a James Bond movie. Like, that was a legit James Bond movie. They just didn't have the license for it. The Rock was okay. The Bad Boys was interesting, but at the same time, I wasn't too enthused by it.
Godspeed.
But Armageddon is.
Armageddon's my number. Let's see. It's in my top 5 movies of all time as a sheer guilty pleasure that I just love.
The Armageddon used to irritate me. Until I realized that, obviously, the conversation was had with Michael Bay about how stupid this movie was, and he didn't care. He's like, no, we're going to do it anyways. Like, they literally say, it's too hard to drill a hole in the ground to teach astronauts how to run drilling equipment. It would be better if you just taught these guys how to do space.
Roughnecks can easily be astronauts. Yeah.
They went with it. Yeah.
Well, because
that was it.
If you put Billy Bob Thornton put him in charge, he'll walk you through it with his charisma and earnestness. That's what I truly believe. And his blood of vial that he used to have with Angelina Jolie around his neck.
Oh, that did happen. That's right.
They were married, right?
Yeah. Never forget.
Did you know that King... Is it Tutankhamun or Tutankhamun? I never know.
I don't know, but they both have that in common.
Tuten and Tuten. He had lots of cool toys. This is according to bestlifeonline.com, the source of all knowledge. But one of his most intriguing may have been a dagger discovered in his tomb in 1925 made of space metal. They confirmed the material using a technique called portable X-ray. They determined the dagger's composition of iron, nickel, and cobalt strongly suggest extraterrestrial origin. So I suggest we make a movie where aliens invade, and there's a certain adventurer, let's just call him Gabriel, and he has to find this blade because it's the only thing that will kill the queen of the aliens invading. Chop the head off, the rest will die. Has that been done?
That has been done. That's literally like
every sci-fi movie?
Yes, that's aliens and cowboys, isn't it?
No, is it?
Yeah, that was Daniel Craig and Harrison Ford. They were cowboys.
Did they steal King Tutankhamun's knife?
I think they got Paul Dano.
They got Indiana Jones and James Bond.
And Paul Dano.
Send them back to the Old West where Doc's still alive.
That would have been the greatest crossover ever if they'd had Marty McFly in Aliens and Cowboys.
He's still alive, but he's in the Old West.
They just would have done it. Well, Chad Elkinson is Tutankhamun. That's a good game. That's a Reiner Knizia.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Chad. We like that. We got to play that and talk about it.
Did you know? Have you ever heard of thoughtography?
Yes. Yeah, those are the women on Instagram.
No. That's a different one. No, different one, Jerry. Thoughts, like your mind thoughts.
Thoughts.
not thoughtography.
I'm pretty sure.
There's two thoughtographies, now that you mention it, no doubt.
Thought.
Not THOT, just your thoughts from your mind.
Yes. Mind hunter.
Thoughtography is a process which some people claim to be able to burn images from one's mind onto surfaces such as photographic film. It's been in the lexicon since 1913. This guy, Ted Serios, tried to do this in the 60s. Well, he claimed he did it. And I was like, people were like, it's a scam. It was like, when I was reading it, it's like nobody actually proved him wrong, but they proved how it could have been cheated, scammed. But in 1995, this famed psychic Uri Geller used a 35 millimeter to take pictures of his forehead and then developed them, claiming they were of his thoughts. And of course, they were all just like these cloudy figures, but in the background would be like an old house.
Do you remember that Mel Gibson? I have to tell this. So the Mel Gibson show where he could tell what women think.
Yes.
Okay.
What
they did,
women want or something?
What women want. Yeah. So it's like, Mel Gibson walking around hearing what women think. And there was like a skit, I think it's Saturday Night Live. And it was, I can't remember who did it, but it was like, why that can't happen in reverse, why it can't be.
Was it Joe Montana?
Like a gender swap thing where it's like, you can't have what men think. And it was like a great, who did that skit? It wasn't Saturday Night Live though. But yeah, no, that would not be good if you could take pictures of
they did
thoughts.
Make a reverse version of that.
They did?
Like last year or something.
What was it?
Oh, it's the lady from Empire.
Miley Cyrus.
No, I forget her name. Tanisha P.
Cookie? Snooki and Miley Cyrus.
No, it's not Sookie. I forget her name, but it's something.
Snooki.
It's something.
Taraji P. Henson?
Taraji, yes.
Yeah.
I was so close.
Snooki, that was a song by Limp Bizkit, right?
It's all about it.
Did you know, speaking of photographs of your brain, not of your brain, but of your thoughts,
Pictures.
Look at that photograph. Do you know when the first photograph actually was and who invented it? Huh? Actual photograph.
William Kodak.
Billy Kay? No, it wasn't him.
I don't know.
Nick Cannon. The first photo was around 1826 or 1827. And it was developed by, let's see.
Joseph Nicéphore Niepce.
That guy.
He starred in that show with her, with Snooki.
Joseph Nicéphore Niepce. Niepce.
He's a thoughtographer.
Joseph Nicéphore Niepce.
That guy, he's French.
Niepce, yes.
He used a camera obscura And that's like, apparently in the old days, they put like a little hole in the wall, and like
That's not where you're going with this.
And the shadow of something would come in, but it would be upside down on a wall.
Oh, yeah.
And so then he used these lithographic stones, coated them with bitumen, and it had to sit. It had to sit for days. What do they call that? While it was the exposure time.
Nips was bitumen. I like it.
He often comes up and says, let's nip this in the bud.
And I did all that just so I could play this right here.
Look at this photograph.
No. That was a long setup.
What?
That was a long setup for that. And that fell flat. That joke did not
People
develop.
like to hate on, what's their name? Creed? Who is that?
Nickelback. Creed is wonderful.
Nickelback, Creed, same thing.
No, they are not. How dare
Roberto?
Strongly disagree.
Roberto?
Strongly disagree.
Who are you? Are you team Nickelback or team Creed?
I am team Creed.
I
All day.
am as well.
I like Creed. Don't get me wrong. I
Name
cry.
one of their songs.
When his son is born, something he's crying.
Name it. Name a song.
Arms wide open. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
not one.
With arms wide open.
Deep. You know that's only name a deep track. We need some deep tracks.
I'm not a deep track guy of Creed. I didn't say I loved them. I just said I don't mind them.
Yeah,
I don't hate them.
Okay.
You give me a deep track that you haven't Googled.
I'm not. Though Bullets was one of their later tracks, which I really liked.
Most things in here don't react well to bullets.
And that was the general public didn't react well to that album. The My Sacrifice was a good one. I really like that.
That's a good one, but that was off their main album, wasn't it?
Their first album, which was, give me a second, it's the one like something of clay.
Jars of Clay.
No, something like that. They had some really good tracks, but they came out later, but they all kind of fell apart because that Scott Strapp guy had a hard time. And now he's still around.
Oh, he sang that really cool Marlins song though for the baseball team. Love it.
Yes. Yeah, the fishing song.
Wait, Scott Stapp is Nickelback.
No, it's not. Are you sure?
Yes.
Which one's Creed? What's Creed's guy's name?
Roberto.
Creed.
Which one's Scott? Who's Scott Stapp?
I don't know them like that. They both sound exactly the same.
I'm looking at that.
Yeah. That's all I hear between Nickelback and Creed.
Hang on. I'm looking it up. Keep going. Keep this hot banter rolling. It is indeed Scott Stapp
Of Creed? Well, who's the Nickelback guy? Oh,
Hang
Chad
on.
Kroger. Chad Kroger. Never mind.
Chad.
You're right.
Chad
Kroger. He owns Kroger's, doesn't he?
I don't know. He was married to Avril there for a short while.
Levine?
Yes.
Was he a skater boy?
Apparently so.
And now she said, "See you later, boy." She's with the other guy.
She's
with the twin from the other rock band.
She's all grown up. Has she had a kid?
Cannot confirm or deny.
But we will start the rumor.
Did you hear this? Avril's got a baby. Jerry, well, never mind. Your children already speak this way. During the pandemic, it has been reported American kids saw so much Peppa Pig, they started speaking with British accents.
Let me tell you about Peppa Pig. It's disturbing.
Daddy.
It's disturbing because the pigs' faces, they're all flat.
Mm-hmm.
And they do that every time they say a word. Like they have to do the snorting. And Peppa Pig is really kind of a weird show anyways. But it is very, what was that Canadian one? Caillou?
Better than Caillou, yes.
Caillou? Is it Caillou or Caillou?
It's Caillou.
I don't have
Caillou
kids.
is what you put in your white Russians.
Caillou.
Caillou is the Canadian cartoon.
Roberto, you have children also, don't you?
I do. He's 15, but at that point we were doing Thomas the Tank Engine. And I started speaking like Alec Baldwin and Willie Nelson for a little bit because they would narrate. So it was like cinders and ashes, jeepers, Percy, and just talk like
Percy was my favorite. Mr. Topham Hat, though, I didn't know about him. His hat was that he I don't know. He was a man amongst trains that was troublesome to me. Like here's this world full of trains, and then there's just this human that's going around forcing them to work. It was weird. And are you looking at more hot banter? Because so far this has not been.
I love how. I mean, we've been talking for nearly 20 minutes. We've been talking for 20 minutes.
No,
you know what?
I just want to say.
You know what? I'm done.
No.
Roberto, it's to you.
No,
you can be co-host from now on. I'm out.
You said right before the show started.
I said nothing. I said don't worry about it.
No, you didn't.
I have things.
I've got it. I've got the banter. It's going to be fire.
I did not ever say banter. I have never said those words in my life. I never say anything's going to be fire.
You talked up the banter, so I
said I've got some banter. And we have bantered.
This banter is
I can't help it. I can't help it. I'll go give it some medicine.
Flaccid banter. Opening for Snake Rectal.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. All right. Well,
we have Roberto here with us, and he is of Instagram and YouTube fame, Shear Boredom. Before we go full blown to Roberto, I did have some YouTube facts. I was going to see if you knew of any of these. Do you know YouTube began on Valentine's Day, 2005?
Are you asking me or Roberto?
Either one. I just asked a yes or no question and read it as a fact, so it's pretty easy to figure out.
Yes. I get a point.
If these are all yes or no, just it's rhetorical, and it's going to be no from me at all times.
I'm going to say, let's see. There are 98 versions of YouTube, apparently for 98 different countries. These are terrible facts. YouTube is growing in popularity. YouTube is worth billions. Oh, wow. Didn't know that. Here we go. These are all right. Hey, speaking of which, Ronaldinho.
Ronaldo.
No, not Ronaldo.
That's the soccer player.
I know that, but this is a Brazilian player, Ronaldinho.
So he shaves.
He was the first one to. I don't know that it's shave, but who knows? He was the first one to 1 million views, his video. Guess who was the first person to 100 million views?
Bo Burnham.
We mentioned her just recently.
Avril?
Avril Lavigne's chart-topping hit Girlfriend was the first song to break 100 million views. Guess the first one to 1 billion. I bet y'all can figure this one out.
Probably the Unicorn, probably. That was a great video.
No.
I don't know. Friday.
What if I'm doing this?
Gangnam Style?
Yeah.
Oh.
First one to 1 billion views. The first Spanish language video. Do you speak Spanish, Roberto?
Un poquito de español, sí,
señor.
Oh,
okay. The first Spanish. Well, I know what he said. A little bit. Good. Yes. Senior. The first Spanish language was Bailando by Enrique Iglesias. By Enrique.
Hello there.
And that's about anything that... Oh, Justin Bieber's Baby isn't the most hated video. It had 10 million thumbs down. Anyway, that's about it. That's about the most interesting facts. But anyway, okay, so now to Roberto. Go ahead, Jerry. You take it from here.
Well, I was going to ask what... No, Roberto has a YouTube channel that's not as hated as Baby, right?
We're working close, Jerry.
We're working on it. You're working on it. But that's okay. I was going to ask about where did you come up with the name?
The name Shear Boredom. Well, last year was a big year with board games, and my love grew ever so. Like all this, it's not even a year old. For those, I have lots of games now. But I was trying to figure out, I was doing a fundraiser, and I was on the line with these two people who I had hopes were going to help me with said fundraiser, but they thought it was a call about my social media presence. And I was just like, Shear Boredom. That makes sense. I'm a hairstylist. So Shear, I changed it to SHEAR and Boredom for board game. And was the start of this small little thing, this little adventure I'm on right now.
I think it's a very clever name.
It's horrible for SEO. You cannot find me anywhere on Google.
Why is that, I wonder?
Because it doesn't have the word game or board game or geek or nerd or bit or,
Too bad your name's not Dom.
That.
You could have separated it all. Shear Board Dom.
I could legally change it right now.
When did you start it? So last year?
Last year in March or April, because the stay-at-home order happened. and I couldn't go to work. I was at home for quite some time, played a crap ton of Call of Duty, and drank a lot of White Claw.
Oh, you had
the fiance was like, "Are you going to do this all the time?" And I said, "No." Span to about a week and a half later, still doing the same things. So I decided to kind of play more games. We actually started together on Facebook Live, and we did a playthrough of Wingspan and Pandemic and stuff, and that's how that started. And then I just moved over to Instagram and started posting pictures.
Now, you on your show, you interview a lot of big board game names. I couldn't help notice you recently interviewed Jamey Stegmaier. I forget what that segment's called. It's leaving me now. What do you call that segment?
Board Vengers.
Board Vengers. Yes. Yes. And you had Jamey on. How did you hook Jamey Stegmaier to come on your show? How did you blackmail him to come on? Did you steal his boat shoes?
I know things. I grabbed his cats. That's what happened. I took Walter and Biddy, and I forced him to come on.
You shaved his cat.
Jamey is awesome. I reached out to him by Instagram. He was my first, and if you go back to my first ever YouTube video, it's with him, and it's still cringy. When I first met him, I was a little bit starstruck because I am playing his games. Like, oh my god, I love all your games, and I had a certain structure to like questions to ask that I wanted to ask him beforehand, and there was just no flow. It's just like,
do you have a similar feeling right now?
Yes. It's a horrible experience. It's a horrible experience. I want to hear you in my car. I don't want to be on this right now. You kidding me?
You weren't expecting to see this face? It's a face for podcasting.
So yeah, I asked him and he said yes. And we did some other videos and asked him to be a part of the Board Vengers group, and he's all about it. He's all about being with people, creating content with people, as long as I believe I read in one of his blogs. He likes doing content when it comes out. As long as it's out for the world to see, he will do content with you.
Wow. So I thought about asking him to come on this show, but I have said so many terrible things about so many people that it's like I kind of worry that he might actually do some research and, hear some of the things that I've jokingly said about him in the past, which I may or may not have meant. So, there's that. That's one of the things that's the best advice that I can give you on your channel is don't burn any bridges, because basically we have burnt so many, like literally nobody will come
That's why you have me. That's why we have now.
The connection.
Yeah, you ran out the list.
Drop a. No, we got you to get to Jamey. So just tell Jamey these guys are okay. There are people. Me and Jerry had this discussion. It's like there's people in the board gaming world that are like rock stars. They're like the famous ones. You got Tom Vassell. You got any big name designer. And I've been trying to get Paula from Things Get Dicey on our show.
She's awesome.
I've emailed her. So if you know Paula.
I do know Paula, actually.
I know. Wasn't she also on a Board Vengers?
She was also on a Board Vengers, yeah.
But we were talking and we were saying there are some people that are so like they're sought after. They're on a podcast or YouTube or something nonstop. And we're like, we wonder when the day will come when they like maybe start charging. Do you think that'll ever happen? Right. Or maybe some already do. I don't know.
Potentially. These Jamey and Paula, they both were gracious enough to come and hang out with us just for the fun of it. And I absolutely appreciate that, because I'm on a hairstylist salary right now. I can't afford. I mean, I can afford the board game, so maybe not.
Appearance fees.
Yes. Maybe in the future. I can't even answer that.
Yeah, I just wonder.
I'm not sure.
I mean, like Paul, she's streaming, playing games, watch it played, podcasting, just nonstop.
That reminds me.
You remind me. Creed.
I got an idea for your show. This is what you can do now. This will be a
Creed
hit.
Or Nickelback? Creed or Nickelback? Which one is it?
You can write this down and you can take off with this. Just kind of like the guy on YouTube who makes people eat like the hot wings and he interviews them.
I've been thinking that. Oh.
So here's what you're going to do. So everybody likes when they get in their hair cut, they go to the barbershop, they like to talk. So you're going to record people You're going to have them come in, board game celebrities. You're going to cut their hair. And while they're in the bar, while they're styling their hair, you're going to be talking to them. So you're going to be bringing in all the big names from board gaming. It's kind of like that comedians in cars getting coffee thing where they just drive around and it's supposed to be not scripted, but it's very obviously scripted. That's what you do. You bring in
LeBron show in a barbershop with famous people.
Famous people, yes. But board game people, you sit them in the chair, you're styling their hair, and you're asking them just the hard-hitting questions, and they open up. You're going to be my first. You're going to be my first person. Well, my hair, I have a certain, I have the same stylist for years. I don't want to feel like I'm cheating her. But like I would, like Mike DeLisio, you could like put the color in his beard, like, be coloring his, whatever, styling up. Because some people don't have any hair. Like all the big board game people are, besides me and Jamey, don't have luscious heads of hair. They're all bald. You ain't got a lot to work with.
Do you do the whole shebang, like everything?
Yeah, I'm a cosmetologist. I'm not a barber. I do women and, I style male and females in my chair.
There's a difference between a barber and a cosmetologist. Cosmetologist is a bunch of chemistry because you can blow yourself up by accident. You can kill yourself by accidentally mixing too many types of chemicals and all that.
Which chemicals could blow up in a salon?
There's a lot of them.
You see these? These are constantly dyed. I can't get them to be regular nail color. There's always brown.
What's that blue stuff they stick the combs in?
Barbicide.
That's barbicide, yeah.
Barbicide. That's what barbers
I was asking
drink
Roberto, Jerry. We're talking to Roberto, not you. Oh my God, he can't help it.
That's just like all the stuff that blows up.
You got Still talking.
I know it. Just ask.
Put the color in there. It's just like, whoa. I get a whiff of that and I have a good time,
What is it? I mean, what is it?
He's like, maybe it's Maybelline.
Barbicide. Yes. That sounds like the murder of barbers.
That is. It's barbicide.
Little Sweeney Todd there. It kills everything. It's a chemical. It kills everything on your comb. So be in between people. Well, I have several combs. So once I'm done with my comb, I put it in the blue stuff and it kills it. It sanitizes it. It does all the things for me to be able to use it on somebody else and have it be sanitary.
Do you enjoy your job?
I love what I do.
I figured you must.
I love what I do. And
this sounds like a job
I've been to cop school. I've done I wanted to do some IT things. And at the end of the day, I want to have these personal relationships, which is why back to the Shear Boardom stuff, like that's why I started doing the interviews, because I missed that one-on-one aspect of my life. It was just completely cut out of my life. I mean, I could talk to my fiance, but I can only talk to her for so long because she was still working and I had time to kill.
Is your fiance there with you?
She's not.
Okay, because as you said that, you glanced off to the side, like, is she here?
I looked at the door. I'm like, maybe she can hear me. She'll barge in right now.
So if you
blink if you need help.
If you could go full time into the YouTube thing or keep doing what you're doing now, which would you do?
If I had to choose YouTube, specifically the board game stuff, I'd probably still do hair.
No.
I'd probably still do hair. I just love it. I love the flexibility. I've been where I'm at for 11 years. I love my clients. I've seen kids grow up. I've been invited to graduations and weddings and stuff. Is there
like a master haircutting status?
They call me that, but I don't like it.
What is
master
it?
Haircutter?
Like, this is a master designer.
Master designer, like, is that what it's called?
Yeah, I'm just a dude that does hair. That's it.
Master.
You need to make a board game about cosmetology.
It's been in my mind. It's in the works.
Okay, write this down. I'm giving you a bunch of good ideas, Roberto. Here's the name of your game. It's called Harry Styles, and it's just a rondelle, and you can only go in one direction.
But how does he cut the hair like that, though?
I don't know. That was a funny joke. That was a Harry Styles joke, and it was funny.
Was it?
Yes, it was. I laughed out loud. LOL.
Oh, darn.
To be a bit blunt,
I need my crickets to drop. Wait.
It didn't cut it out.
After Jerry.
Oh, okay. That's what it is. So you're hot. Sorry, I'm trying to save us after your hot banter.
Oh, yeah. You're saving us, all right.
Well,
what is your ultimate? Do you have an ultimate go with your channel, or is it just kind of a hobby you do for fun, or do you have something in mind?
just a hobby right now. If I want to get better at making videos. But I just love creating these relationships. Yeah, my videos are just kidding. Not good. Not good.
No, okay. This is a big pet peeve of mine. But here it comes. There's so many people in the YouTube interview sphere that have terrible microphones or have no microphones.
How are you doing?
And it just, all you hear is this echoey room. And it's like, a lapel mic. They're like $15.
He doesn't bother him at all to insult you, Roberto, because he's bald and he feels like he doesn't need you. That's what it is. Like his arch nemesis.
I'm envious. Well,
your powers are useless.
How am I insulting him? I said I like his show because he's got microphones.
Good. I listened to it the other day. Because you told me he was going to be on our show.
I like his. I said I like his show, not for the content, because he has microphones.
I'm just like, hey guys, it's me, Roberto.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's all you need. So okay, is hobby your other golf?
Golf is my other hobby.
And how long has this been going on?
I started golfing a long time ago, but I've been taking it seriously last 2 years or so.
For a long time.
See, I would have a lot more golf puns, but we just did a golf.
Yeah, you exhausted them.
Me and Jerry and Bubba went golfing, so yeah. What do you have? Are you good enough to where you know your handicap?
Oh, I'm hot garbage, as we say up here. Absolute hot garbage.
He's from Massachusetts.
Pack the car and have it yad. You can start dropping the cars if you'd like.
Pack the car and have it yad. Is that it?
Packing that car.
Packing that. And so I find it fascinating how I've seen many a YouTube video where they talk about the relationship between like the Boston accent and actual English, the Englishman, and how that heritage comes to that. But I've heard that the English got that from America, actually. You ever heard that?
I have not heard that, but I do know that the Boston Tea Party was a thing, and we just destroyed the taxes, and that was it. That was it.
Down with George.
Screw George. Loved Hamilton, but
Do you have what? Well, you're just doing it for fun and a hobby. What do you think attracts people to a YouTube channel like yours?
The guests, because they're not there for me. Maybe they are there for me. I don't know. I try to keep it as I don't want to be light with the conversations that I have with people, but I try to get some meaningful questions out to them. I do a lot of research on people before I interview them. So when they come on, I may throw a curveball at them because I saw their LinkedIn or something like that.
That's what we should have done with this, because literally, like me watching 3 videos of sheer boredom didn't help. But it's like I should have actually have looked up and researched and been like, hey, and then realized this is the Instagram guy that I follow and look at his pictures.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you believe in unconditional love?
From a dog, yes. That's it. That's it. When you come home and a dog looks at you and they're just so happy to see you, that's unconditional love.
Because cats will betray you.
Cats will look at you in the eye and disrespect you.
I love cats. I'm more of a cat guy than a dog guy. But dogs, loyal like a dog. Loyal like a dog. Jerry, do you believe in unconditional love?
No. No, I don't.
Okay.
You got to earn it. If you love it, you'll put a ring on it.
Okay, Roberto.
That's me.
What's something people probably don't like about you? You may or may not get this job. I need to know.
I'm really honest. With people, I put things as blunt as I possibly can. And just today, one of the girls at work started talking, or they're telling me about something she already told me. And I immediately cut her off and said, "You already told me this. I don't want to hear it." And I kind of went. I went out with my day. And the other was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you said that." I'm like, "I already heard it. I don't have to hear it again."
Jerry repeats the same stories over and over and over, and I have to tell him, Jerry, you've already told me this.
Talking.
You've already told me this.
At least my stories are interesting.
Okay, Jerry, do you have anything to add, or do I need to still keep carrying all this?
What you want me to take over?
I know.
Sorry,
I mean, it's supposed to be a podcast together. We can tag team. You don't have to just sit there in silence while I talk. Well, let me keep on. Let me ask you another question.
No. Nobody, just your questions. Just no. I've got this. Please stop. Please, for the love of God, stop this.
What's your favorite color?
Roberto.
Yes.
Okay. So, did you read Jamey Stegmaier's recent blog?
Ooh, I did.
About the reviews and getting paid for said reviews and the somewhat controversy.
I knew this is where he was going to go.
Yeah, I did read that.
So that's
TLDR. I said.
What
is intriguing about it to you, Jerry?
What is intriguing about it to me?
There you go. Flip it. Flip it, Roberto.
Up, down, flip it, and reverse it. He's doing that Missy Elliott stuff on me. It's okay.
Flip it, flip it, flip.
Yep. Don't take much to get Jerry talking.
I don't have a problem with anybody getting paid for doing anything. Like, I'm a hitman myself in my part-time. If you pay me, I'll take care of something. That's just fine. The only issue I would have is if somebody doesn't proclaim that they have been paid for such thing. So if you're a reviewer or you're doing a preview or whatever it is, I think coming straight up and saying, yes, this game was given to us for free, or we were paid to do this review, or this is a preview and we got money to do this. I think that's fine. And I think, yes, does that affect your opinion? Yeah, I think a lot of people are affected if you're getting paid. If it's your business, I think we can see that with a lot of various channels that do reviews, that they are getting paid to do the reviews and they give very middle of the road reviews because they don't want to burn an income source. I think that's normal. It's fine. But yeah, I think that Jamey.
Well, I would think the easiest thing to do is, if you're if you're cooperating with that, you're in business with that company, and they say if you're in bed with that company and they send you a game,
king size pillows and everything.
Yeah, and they send you a game that you just hate. I mean, there's no obligation to review that one, right?
Right.
So,
but
that seems like the simple fix to me.
I think so. I want to say that with him and his blogs. I was actually just talking about this with Barry.
That's me.
I was speaking with Gabi about this before we started, and what I said was I think Jamey when he talks about this stuff, I think he's a forward thinker when it comes to these things. Taking all the names and everything that was mentioned in the blog, I don't think there's anyone that I've seen talking about this right now or in the past. So I think it was great that he was able to bring it up. And I'm not a reviewer. That's not what I do at all. I think I'm horrible at explaining stuff, which is why me on this podcast is a bad idea. But thank you for having me anyway.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. And I just after reading it, as long as people are transparent, so I absolutely agree with you there, Jerry. With their reviews. But if someone plays a game and they hate the game and they want to put it out, I think there is some slight bias there, because if the publisher hates it, they potentially lose that income source. So the publisher is then not being some kind of truthful with their product if someone doesn't like it. So I think to get a well-rounded version of any type of game, we got to have the goods and the bads. And if the company isn't giving the bads, that's on them.
So I have, and to digress and give a little bit of context, Jamey Stegmaier, the designer of Scythe, has his own blog, put out a recent article. We're talking about paid reviews. And so it kind of stirred up a lot of feathers because he mentions people by name. And some people took offense at him naming some pretty big reviewers and saying these people, get paid to do reviews, and these people do a lot of negative reviews because they get a lot of clicks and things of that nature. And with that understanding, I have appreciated how a lot of people have kind of subverted and gotten around that moral conundrum that comes from getting something for free and then feeling obligated to give a review or a good review about it. I personally recall like the first review copy of a game, like one of the first games that ever came in the mail to us from an actual big board game company, and it was WizKids. And it was literally one of the worst games we had ever played. And we did an episode of it and said, okay, well, we're ragged on it. And we thought we'll never get another game from these people because, number one, it was odd that they would just send us a game. And two, it was also kind of odd that as soon as we got it, we played it and then went on and said, oh, this is trash. Nobody should buy this.
Enrique wanted to burn it.
Enrique literally wanted to burn it. And then they sent us another game. It was weird. So you have that conundrum of if you're getting paid, you're obviously going to be somewhat biased, and what are you going to do about it? But
Right.
then there are other reviewers, such as like the Secret Cabal. They've often said that any game that they feature on their podcast, they like it. So if it's a game that's they're featuring, they obviously like it. They don't do negative reviews. Rarely do you hear them say anything negative about any type of game. You've got people like Watch It Played who doesn't do reviews at all. Like I remember catching Rodney Smith at a convention and him and him in and said, hey, what's your favorite game? Tell me a game that you personally really like. Like what's the game that you love? And he gets around
the
that.
solo mode of Everdell.
Yeah.
Keeping that to myself. The solo modes.
So it's like these things, like there are reviewers that have found interesting ways to get around that conundrum of is you have to ask yourself, if this is a business to you, is your channel, your podcast, whatever, if this is a business and you're treating it like a business, then who are your customers? Is it the publishers or is it the consumers? And so if I am a podcast or a YouTube channel and I'm getting money and my income is coming from these publishers, that is my customer. And I'm going to keep my customers happy. And so I'm going to do everything that I can to make them happy within the degrees that the flexibility that I have of my integrity. Like I'm not going to give a great review to a bad game type thing. Or are you getting Kickstarter money? Do you have a Patreon? Are your customers your listeners? Are you making a living off your fan base? And if that's the case, then obviously that's who you have to protect. You have a fiduciary. Boy, that's a good word.
Bruno fiduciary.
That. Yeah, Bruno fiduciary, a fiduciary obligation to protect them, so to speak.
Question. Okay, so like I said, I can't read that much. What are people getting upset about in his blog other than him naming names? Did he have a specific viewpoint?
Well, yeah, Jamey mentioned one. He talked about. I don't want to name anybody, but yeah, he named
names. Just
he named names, but there was one group that he said they're always contrarian. They're always doing negative reviews, and he kind of it. If you just read that, it was implying that these people just do bad reviews to get attention.
For the
and
clicks,
then he mentioned
for them downloads. Is that what we need to do? Negative stuff for downloads?
Sometimes being contrarian, though, is you get more clicks. And with people who are honest and all they put out is good content, I think saying, hey, this game is bad actually means more because all they put out, they just are honest about their games that they absolutely love.
Well, it depends on the platform. So, for instance, if you go on, and I'll use Facebook because I'm old as an example, that if you go onto Facebook and you post anything the least bit negative about a game, you are going to get piled on by people who are just stating they love the game. If you post, hey, I like this game, you're just going to get a bunch of people saying, oh, good. Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good. And if anybody says anything to the contrary, then it's, people jump on them for saying, oh, how dare you let people have fun type thing. So
and that's why I'm on Instagram. Facebook is a cesspool.
So Facebook's a cesspool, but it's my type of cesspool. It's the swamp that you're used to. Like Instagram. Yeah. Instagram is a nice, you take a picture. This is what we think. And there's not a whole lot going on.
Stick to the cesspools you're used to.
Twitter is awful.
Oh,
because
GRJ is that into the TLC? GRJ.
That's basically it.
I like it.
The thing with Jamey Stegmaier that I think really sets people off is that Jamey has a following. Jamey has developed a fan base that really likes his games and him personally. And they tend to be very defensive about him and anything Jamey. And he's also very forward about his thoughts and opinions about the gaming industry. And although I don't know Jamey, I think I agree with a lot of what he puts out. And I think that it should be a conversation that is being had by the industry about what we are doing to the consumer, and as well as how the consumer affects the content creators. The price of board games are only going to go up with the shipping issues that everybody's having. And so people are going to be buying less board games. So you want them to buy the good ones. And it just seems like this is now the perfect time to be able to have this conversation and go to the masses. What type of reviewer do you want? Do you want somebody who is being paid by companies to give middle of the road reviews, or do you want somebody that you yourself are going to have to fund that has no ties to these companies, but you're going to have to back me on Kickstarter to protect you? So anyways, I thought the blog post from Jamey was really nice. I liked it. I like the fact that he made everybody mad, because that's what I like.
You like people getting mad.
I'm a troll. I'm a troll.
I do like the fact that he does generally, as far as I can see, respond to all the comments. Like, he go below the blog, whoever makes a comment, and he'll talk back to you. So he's not opposed to a discussion. But
someone had mentioned on the post that we're talking about, they said, hey, this isn't so on and so forth. And so he then messaged them publicly and said, I will fix this. So not only will he have the conversation with you, he'll admit when he is wrong. And I'm just trying to be as careful as I possibly can with my words here, right? Like, yeah, he talks and he says, hey, okay, thank you for letting me know. I will change this. I will amend it. And he'll amend it right in the blog post and make it correct.
Well, Jerry was talking about how he's got people on a fairly good following. I think there's also a fairly good amount of people that are anti-Jamey for things. And I've seen that on the Twitters and all that stuff. So it's just if you put yourself out there publicly and you become popular, you're going to get the hammer from both sides. And that's why Jerry's always saying he likes our small podcast.
Yeah, and I'm anti-Jamey. I'm just anti-Jamey just because the fact that everybody likes him.
Because he wears boat shoes all the time.
And his hair is better than mine. Tell me right now, Roberto, rate Jamey's hair.
He cuts it himself.
He does, and he does a good job, doesn't he?
He does.
He does a good job. That's like a thing. Like when you see the guy, it's like, this dude.
Does he use a Flowbee?
I hope he does. I emailed him about, because I got invited to Design Day, so I'm gonna go to St. Louis in September, and I was like, Jamey, let me cut your hair, please, just once. I just want to cut your hair to say that I
interview him in the chair. This is the beginning of the show,
and that'll be the first show.
The first episode of what was it?
It goes
Jerry?
back to thank you, Jerry.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You got to come up with a better name than that. This has got to be like cut to the chase. Something like that.
No, that's
cutting people's hair. No, that's not a good one. It'll come to me here in a second.
You remember that movie, The Chase, starring Charlie Sheen, where he drives a car down the highway, and
he probably barely remembers it himself.
And him and his. It was the girl that played Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I think, in the movie. Christy Swanson. Why in the world did that pop in my head? I don't know.
I'll look her up.
That may have been before y'all's time. I'm slightly. How old are you? Are you in your 30s?
Me? 30. Yeah, I'm 33, 34.
That's right. I remember you posted you had a 15-year-old son. I was like, from your Instagram, I thought you were like in your 20s.
Yeah, I had it when I was a fetus. It worked out. It just worked out. It was perfect.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, him and this girl are going down. They're being chased by cops the whole movie. And they make love in the movie in the car.
Charlie Sheen.
Driving down
Christy
the road.
Swanson.
With or without Tiger Blood.
This was pre-Tiger Blood.
Pre-Tiger Blood.
Is it Christy Swanson?
It is Christy Swanson.
And as an impressionable young man, they're in the car and they start, doing their business. And I was like, what? what is going on? And he continues driving 80 miles an hour down the road while they're doing their business. And yeah, that movie has stuck in my brain for a long time.
You want to talk about what's going on? I just got to put on Netflix today a show called Sexy Beasts or something like this. You got to check this out.
Oh, yeah.
These people dress up, or they have them in full costume. Like I just saw the one girl was a devil and she was dating a mouse and a baboon and like a rock-faced creature. And it was all about the personalities. Like, oh, how are you? And they look completely ridiculous, but it's about the personality, not how they look. And of course, by process of elimination,
okay, I'm gonna
demask themselves. Please watch this.
I'm backing this up. I was going, oh yeah, not to that, but I thought you was talking about Sexy Beast, the Ben Kingsley 2000 movie. Not this Netflix Sexy Beast. I have no clue. I just looked this up. This is weird.
It's so weird. It's so weird.
It's kind of like The Masked Singer, except with flirting.
Yes, except with flirting. But
that would be interesting.
It's not masks. It's full on, like it's glued. This guy looks like a mouse and he has an English accent. It was disturbing as heck.
Can you see their bodies?
Oh yeah. Yeah. They're all done up.
So you can't, but like, can you cover up the fact that you're a fat man?
Yeah, just go as a rhino.
Did you happen to prepare your Bubba top 5?
Yes, I did.
Okay, that's always good.
At least somebody's prepared.
At least one of them.
So, what is the last game you played?
Yesterday we played Trails.
Oh.
By Keymaster Games at a brewery.
And?
Oh, I think it's brilliantly done. I haven't played Parks. You just go up and down on these tiles. You gather resources. You buy cards. It's super easy. It was easy to teach. We had some people come up to the brewery with us, and we taught them in about 10 minutes. And we played a couple games. It was a good time. And they're headed to Acadia. So the entire time, like, wow, this is getting us ready to go up to Maine. Take it with you. Play it on a trail. Send me pictures.
I've always wanted to go to Maine and
do it.
Stand by a lighthouse as waves crash against the rocks.
It's not as cool as you think. I will say that.
It's not? Why?
But then again, growing up around them, just to me, a lighthouse is like, oh, cool, lighthouse.
Well, but you got to have the waves crashing against the rocks in a romantic manner.
Yes. It would also be better if you didn't have my counter spell of no hair. Like, you got to have some long hair whipping in the wind, too.
Fabio style.
Yes.
With a deep V. Wearing a deep V.
To your belly button. Right down to the belly button.
A little bit of lint popping out.
I can't believe this is not a lighthouse. Yes.
Okay, this is the one that I want to fix this one because it's terrible. Can describe a game by box art. And it'd have to be one that we fairly kind of know. Because if you were to describe Trails, I couldn't tell you.
I'll start this off by, this was just recently. For some reason, it's getting super popular right now, but it came out last year. And we played it and we liked it. It's like a cityscape over water. And it has a big square.
My City.
In the middle that's white. No. It's art by Ian O'Toole. So the top is like a sunset. It's a cityscape water. The name is on the box in white.
Oh, that's
and then it's blue underneath.
It's the guy who did Alexander Pfister's game.
Cloudscape?
That came out.
Cloud something?
It's not Cloud Age.
Cloud Age.
No. I don't know.
See, that's why I need to replace this one. Go ahead.
At the very top, there's a little. The shield has 2 letters in it in white. And then it's the game. The game's in front of me. This is the only reason I'm able to do this. I did bring it up. Yes, it is. It is a capstone game.
Well, it's obviously not.
It's out of print right now, and I just looked it up. It's $127 on Amazon for no reason.
Good Lord. This had better not be
Ragusa.
Maracaibo.
No, that game is great, though.
Okay. We don't know.
Pipeline.
Ow.
Oh, yeah. That's a tough game.
We played Pipeline, and that was one like I don't remember loving it. It was kind of, it was super hard, but
there aren't a lot of turns to do a lot of things.
I didn't hate it either, I don't think. It was just kind of like, meh. It's one of them ones that I was kind of like super pumped for, but it was like,
It's not like Barrage that you guys swayed us to purchase.
Have you played it?
We love that game.
Okay.
I've been trying to get to the table for the longest time now, but it's hard. It takes a lot of time, and it's hard.
What is your favorite movie?
What genre? Can you be a little bit more specific?
No. You got to have one that's just top of everything. If I said, you're going to this desert island, this is the only movie you can take. My tackle's in the wind. I'm riding on my scooter.
I'm a Disney nerd, probably Aladdin or The Lion King. One of some animated movie.
The live action ones, huh?
Yeah, of course. Of course, the live action ones. I'm like 19. That's all I've ever seen with Disney, of course.
I just watched Bambi the other night. They're supposed to be doing a remake, a live action of Bambi.
I can't wait for them to shoot his mom.
Can you just imagine that? Just shooting, like people can't handle that.
A rated R version of Bambi.
Yeah.
with
the 45 handgun.
See Bambi's mother blown in half.
But make it like Kill Bill style, where Bambi just goes vengeance on everybody and just starts wreaking havoc with his horns. Wait, Bambi a boy or girl? Is Bambi a boy or girl?
Bambi's a boy. Did you not watch Bambi?
I literally, the last time I watched it, I was a small child.
So Bambi is all about death and sex. Because basically, after his mother dies, he grows up, he goes meets the owl, and the owl basically tells him, you're going to get Twitter pated. And then all the male animals in this Disney classic meet their female counterparts. And that's basically the whole show. It's about love and death and the circle of life.
Yeah, it's emo punk rockish kind of, but without any guitar.
There should be.
We need to make the Tarantino version of Bambi. That's what I'm saying.
And I'd love to see Bambi in a yellow jumpsuit. That would be awesome.
Like doing like that, what do they call that? The Matrix style fighting and stuff.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure Pulp Fiction was his Bambi. Love and death.
A revenge story? No. Does he have a good revenge? Kill Bill. That's what I just said. But then, actually, it's reversed. Was Kill Bill Part 2? I've never seen Part 2. Okay, in Part 1, Uma Thurman kills the mama and tells the little girl, whatever, you're like going to come after me when you grow older, right?
Yeah.
Is that Part 2?
That's Part 1.
No. I mean, is that the story for Part 2? Is the girl coming after her?
No, you need to watch Part 2. No, you need to watch Part 2. I swear, you haven't watched Part 2?
So, I mean, I thought, Tarantino needs to make that movie. He set it up.
What do you mean? He made Part 2.
Michael Bay's going to do it.
But the little girl needs to seek vengeance for her mama against Uma Thurman.
If you watch Part 2, you'd realize why that's not the case.
Oh, okay. I guess so.
Yeah, how about not talking about Quentin Tarantino stuff? And Quentin can only make so many shows, and he's done. He's only got one more.
He's still going to make his hard R Star Trek.
I hope it's not a Western. I'm so sick of making Westerns.
I am so sick of Westerns. I know that Hateful Eight. I didn't like Hateful Eight, and I'll just say this. Django Unchained, I didn't like it that much either.
I agree. I have to agree with you.
I like DiCaprio, but it just didn't. All right, what's the next one, Gabi? What's the next one?
Number 2. A board game you'd like to see made into a movie.
Oh, Dwellings of Eldervale.
Okay. I have played that on Tabletopia or one of those. And Jerry, have you ever played it?
I have not. You said it sucked.
I didn't like it, but that was on Tabletop Simulator, so that probably had a big thing to do with it. But I mean, I played it on Tabletop Simulator, and I despise Tabletop Simulator because there's a bunch of pieces and moving and dragging this piece up here, and it keeps falling over to the side, and I have to click it and rotate it with the E key, and
it sounds. I don't do online board games like that. That sounds rather difficult.
Board Game Arena is the way to go.
I say that when I picked that one because in this game, when you go to have a hex and you make it your own, your worker becomes a house. So I just want to see how that would translate over in real life. Like, I'm inside my mom again. This is really weird.
That was a wonderful setup, and Gabi happened to be turning his head and didn't hear it. Scythe would make a great. I don't know why, Jamey. Tell your friend Jamey, Roberto. Tell Jamey to make Scythe into like a Game of Thrones level television show, like an epic, really kind of, long form story with the mechs. That would be awesome. I don't know why they have not. I just played the, was it Iron Harvest, the video game of Scythe? It's all right. But yeah, that's where it's
that
at.
was a thing.
Yes, Iron Harvest. Iron Harvest is a real-time strategy game that is set in the world of Scythe.
Okay.
And it's all right. Like if you're into video games, you like kind of like the is it Company of Heroes? Is that the one that THQ did? That's the World War II kind of move your guys around real-time strategy. It's basically that, but with Scythe. It's really good. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. I'm not into that real-time strategy stuff. I end up spending all my time playing RimWorld. All right, next.
Speaking of which, what is your favorite game? We didn't actually ask you that.
My favorite game
as of this moment.
I just hold on. I can just get back to saying this. I just found out that The Last of Us is going to be turned into a show. I don't know if you played The Last of Us.
Yes.
Yeah.
The show is going to be awesome.
Now, who's the guy? And I can't remember off the top of my head. It's
the guy from
Mandalorian.
Yeah.
/ the
Pedro.
Game of Thrones also.
Pedro Pascal.
Okay, so your last thing here is. Oh wait, you didn't tell us your favorite game.
I did not. And I feel so bad after you saying you hated it. I love Dwellings. It's so good. It has combat, worker placement, resource management, card drafting, some set collection. It's all there, but it's done at the simplest level. So I think it just works. For me, it just works really well. Plus, the table presence is fantastic.
Well, I don't have a problem giving a game a second chance especially after my only play being on Tabletop Simulator, because you're not alone. It seems to be a mega hit, and everybody seems to like it. So I'd like to play it.
Though, so it's hard to pull the trigger on that one in particular because it's $200 or something like that.
Good lord.
Yeah, you get a lot. There's a lot in there. A lot of minis, a lot of map tiles, tokens. There's game trays. Does it too. Does the organization on it.
Do you solo?
No, I only ever solo video games.
You've not moved on to the solo of board games.
No, I can't get into that mentality. I think it's weird. It's great. It's great if you can. I can't. Maybe if I get a board gaming table and I can set it up and leave it there, but I don't want to.
That makes a difference. Yeah,
break it down.
I can do that. So that's what helped me to play more solo games. Your favorite thing you're enjoying right now, that could be anything.
This podcast.
Oh.
This podcast.
Favorite guest ever. You win. ...
is I just wish I was back in my car. I just want to be in my car listening. I can't believe I'm on this podcast right now. Just taking up, filling air for you. I appreciate that.
Hey,
golf.
Golf.
That's
Who's your favorite professional golfer?
Professional golfer, probably. Why can't I think of his name right now? It's the guy that does all the crazy shots, and he's really old.
Oh, you're talking about. Give me a second.
Phil Mickelson.
Yes,
yeah.
You feel the thrill, man. If you want to have some
incredible,
if you want to watch some of just his highlights on YouTube are amazing. Some of those shots, like he knocked it up into like the stands, and he's up there knocking it off somebody's table. I mean, he's just an amazing golfer.
What's sad about Phil is if Tiger hadn't have existed, he probably would be the guy that everybody talks about. But Tiger came up like right at the same time.
I look at Phil and I think this is peak physical performance. And I look, I feel like I look just like him, like body wise. I'm like, yes, I'm there. I'm happy with my body. This is top tier PGA Pro. I can do this.
How often do you get to play? Once a week?
I try to go 2 or 3 times a week.
Wow. Yeah, that's the only way. I have played golf since I was about 15. But I only get to go like once every 3 months. So I have never improved in my game. There was one time in my whole life I ever shot a 99. I got under 100. And that was this period where I think I had played maybe 10 times that summer. And ever since then, it's at least 110 to 140. That's about where I usually shoot.
Nice. I play best ball with myself, and I still come in the 50s. Like 55, 56.
What, do you hit 2 shots?
Yeah, because I like to play by myself.
Oh.
I play with my friends when I can, but if I really want to focus on some ironwork or stuff, I'll go out and play best ball. So I hit 2 balls.
See, you solo golf, but you don't solo board game. It's the same thing.
2 pieces. That's it. You need the ball and a glove.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
There's a lot of setup.
I bring my meeple with me sometimes.
Your
for
what?
Photographs. For photographos. I have a meeple that I bring with me from time to time.
Yeah, that's
People
not
are like,
weird.
what are you doing?
For what? For photographs?
It's like a field in Carcassonne. You just lay it on next to the pin.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
my field now.
And when you take that picture, you should say,
Look at this photograph.
Thoughts
I
and
love
prayers.
Creed. I love Creed.
Don't make me mad. Don't make me mad.
Do you have any questions for us, Roberto?
That's a great question.
Thank
More
you.
questions for you.
I'm here to ask great questions.
At
I
this
feel like I've
point in
succeeded.
time, do you ever do fundraisers? Like, what do you do like philanthropic work with the podcast? Do you ever have any fundraising type things?
We do. Here recently, you might have noticed that Enrique, he has started wearing sleeves.
No.
So we
No.
we sold some of the copies of Starfleet. Well, we sold Starfleet Conflict, whatever that game was from WizKids. We went to the Goodwill and purchased various sweaters for Enrique, which he is now wearing. And so
Excellent.
that has brought me more joy to see that child who has been sleeveless for so long finally clothed properly. So besides that,
No.
Gabi found a cat. You taking care of that cat. So that's
No.
philanthropic.
So the answer
see.
is no, Roberto.
What do you mean? I do nothing but philanthropic.
He's
work.
asking about on the podcast, with the
Oh,
podcast.
I know. I'm too busy pulling people out of burning buildings.
Yeah, and that's
You're
the...
a firefighter?
We are. Jerry is extremely busy. I mean, as you've seen, like we barely got him on at 8:00 today because when he's not working, he's shuffling his kids around to his in-laws and back and forth and to dance class and swim class and whatever classes he's got. And they're watching Peppa Pig, speaking British. And it's just if Jerry, I'm pretty much free, but I also work just, normal hours, Monday through Friday. But we're lucky to get together once a month and record. And here lately, when we've been getting together that once a month, we just record basically the whole month's worth of podcasts. So, yeah.
So this is going to be 7 parts?
This is a 7-part podcast.
Excellent.
We're going to break this up into 10-minute sections apiece. Just milk it for all it's worth.
Good. I'm bottom of the barrel. You got it right here.
We unfortunately can't do that at this time.
No, but we need to. We need to do something philanthropic.
Like what? I wouldn't even know.
Well, we need to find something that is people who just I don't know.
I see
don't know.
lots of people do that. That Average Joe's gaming podcast. I don't even
That
know.
One Life. One
One
Life.
Life. He's always
Or,
posting One Life or something.
Yeah, Average Joe is always doing something like that. We need to do something like that. We're good people.
If you're a firefighter, you're a good person, I would think.
I'm
You're
amazing.
a firefighter.
Oh, yes.
You're
I
a
am
first
true.
responder?
He's all of the above. He really
Other than
does.
being crazy, I think you are a good guy, and I've never even met you.
Oh,
Because why would you want to go into a burning building?
He loves it. The thrill of it.
Here's something they don't tell you. And I remember this very vividly when I was going through the firefighter training. This was back in 2000. This was February of 2007. And I remember this very large man who was the instructor at the time about to lead us into what they called a burn building, which is this fire retardant 3-story tall building that they light on fire but won't burn down. They just put flammable objects in it, light it on fire so that you can get used to being inside something that's really hot and putting out fires and so forth. And
Isn't that marriage? I thought that was marriage.
it depends on what type of material that you build your marriage out of. If you build it out of whiskey and Netflix, it's probably going to burn down because she'll catch you watching Sexy Beast one night and then realize you're really into roosters, and that's not okay. There's a joke there. I'm not going to make it. And so I remember as they're about to lead us into this building, he says, we're about to find out who's going to be an engineer and then who's going to be on the truck. which is just a nice way of saying you're either going to completely hate being in this building and you're going to want to have a job outside of it, or you're going to be one of the psychopaths that get in this place and see it and really come to, like, the inner arsonist in you comes out and you see this and it's like an amazing feeling. And yeah, it's very fun. It's incredible to be inside of a thing that is trying to kill you, but at the same time, you're just amazed by what's around you and what you're seeing. It's kind of like marriage.
So it is an adrenaline rush.
It is an adrenaline rush. And
so you don't do it to save lives or any of that. You do it for
selfish reasons.
Well, yeah, for selfish reasons. I have saved, I think, let me think. There's only been one person in terms of actual fires that I would accredit saying that we pulled out of a burning building and he lived. That I would say, quote unquote, that we saved him.
Jerry's God
type
Excellent.
thing. Now, dogs and cats by the dozens.
Aww.
I wish I had $1 for every cat I have saved from a fiery building. They are not appreciative. They're not appreciative. Actually, there was this thing that took place that I am wasn't very embarrassed about, and I'll go ahead and recount this. When I first got on the fire department, I was assigned to the engine, and it was this little house fire, and I was very thrilled to be a part of the team and getting to go into this burning building. And as we're advancing the hose through these people's home, they had several cats in the house, and as we're about to go into these people's house, the lady says something about her dog or her cat or something. I don't know. She yelled that basically indicated that her dog was in the house. And as we are going through this house, this smoke and fire, we couldn't see anything. I found like a pile of cats that have been overcome by the smoke. And I was like, I've got to get these cats out of this house. But at the same time, I was assisting in moving the hose through the house. And so I couldn't stop.
That's a clouder of cats.
Yeah, I couldn't stop what I was doing to grab a bunch of cats and run out the door and be right back. But I needed to come up. I needed to get the cats out of there because I felt bad. My solution to this was to throw a chair through a window and then proceed to throw the cats out the window. And it was apparently quite comical to those standing outside the house to see this window break open and then several cats one by one come flying limped out this window. Yes, what they lived, and I felt very pleased about this. But then later, someone told me like that was really weird just seeing these cats come flying out this way. So, well, I was trying to help them. So the lady was pleased though. Cats, her house burnt down, but her cats survived.
I'd be pleased as well.
Right,
National Lampoon's Jerry's Firehouse. Yes,
you got to save people's animals. That's what it's all about. People take that seriously. They're fur babies, and I'm all about that. Saving dogs, cats, a duck. I saved a duck.
A pet duck,
and that was
a wild duck.
A pet duck. He was involved in a car wreck.
The duck was he driving?
I've heard ducks are bad birds. I've heard of that. They're a little foul.
A bad driver.
They are foul.
Bad drivers. I bet he had a big bill.
I had a pet duck growing up that I raised from the day that he was hatched. His name was Bullet Bill, and they are very mean. He attacked the UPS man, and they don't have teeth, but they will bite you and try. And when they clamp down with their bill, they'll twist their head back and forth to try to, let you know how rough they are. But yeah, saved a duck that was involved in a car wreck.
I'll take a duck over a goose.
Yeah, geese are mean, especially the Canadians.
I don't believe that. Canadians are the nicest people there are.
They leave their doors unlocked. You think Canadian geese leave their homes unlocked for other geese to maybe come in and clean up their homes?
I don't see why they
would. Or
wouldn't.
to say, "What's up? Hello, Canadian geese. We got to save ourselves from being in coats."
I think that geese are they're probably the least liked of all birds.
They're fine
think
as
there's
long
no
as they
other-
stay away from me. No, ostrich scares me. An ostrich will gut you.
No,
Yes.
no.
After you get done riding
Yeah,
it, you
watch
hop
gods
off
must be
and just
crazy.
like tries to gut you.
Why do you ride an ostrich?
I got an ostrich saddle. Hop on that rascal, take a ride.
Have you been watching that sexy beast? Boy, that joke's gonna keep on giving, I'm afraid. All right. Well, that's all I've got time for. I gotta get off here.
Why?
Gabby, are you awake?
Why do you
Because
gotta
I've
get
got
off?
things to do.
It's
'Cause I've got things to
9:30.
do.
What are you gonna do,
It's 10:30 there. No, he's in Maine, so it's actually
Do you
just
have to work tomorrow?
7:30.
Roberto?
Yes. Yeah, I'm at work tomorrow.
What time do you have to get up for work?
Yes, he does.
It's a wedding rental. Wedding party's coming, I think, at 6 a.m., something like that.
Wow. Well, then you
Yeah.
should have told us. We could have hung up a long time ago.
Heck no. I like doing this.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad.
Have me on again or never. This may be
He's got
your
Bridezilla.
least listened podcast.
Are you going to have us on your show? That's the reason we had
I'd
you
like
on as
that.
well.
I'd like that. I'd like that.
We're
I guess
tit,
see if
we're
I can
tit
get
for
Jamey
tat
on
around
as well.
here.
Yeah.
There you go.
Get Jamey on, and then we'll come on, and I'll ask Jamey a bunch of questions that
Just
are
gonna railroad my show.
mildly
Great.
uncomfortable.
He's going to
That's
sink
what
you.
we'll do.
He's going to sink your show.
Sink your show.
He'll be the iceberg
So, Jamey,
to your
and
Shear
just-
Boredom's Titanic, and that'll be the last Shear Boredom has ever heard of. All right. Well, we're going to let you go to bed then, or whatever it is you choose to do with your time hereafter.
Sexy beast.
Sexy beast.
So everyone can find you at what? Shear Boredom?
Yes, shear_boredom on Instagram, Shear Boardom Table Talk on YouTube, and also on Facebook.
Okay.
The cesspool.
The cesspool.
No Twitters?
Twitter's a bathroom wall. I don't like to go on there.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you coming on our show very much. Had a nice time. And we will definitely have you on again sometime.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate being here.
And send us an email. Not you, anybody. Send us an email at boardgamesnobs@gmail.com.
All right. That's going to do it. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Board Game Snobs. Stay classy.